You got Becky. Do you go by Becky? That's what you want, Becky?
Becky.
Becky, okay. Okay, Becky. So tell the people where it all started.
I just had a lot of different crazy stuff happen in my life. Like my very first memory is a memory of my brother getting shot in our house. Like when I was 3, that's my first thing I can ever remember in my childhood. My brother getting shot and he eventually died. So that's like 3 years old. So that's my very first memory, and then from there the trauma just continues. And I'm saying that with a smile, but yeah, that's crazy.
So how did that make you feel? Like,
I ain't know how to feel in my life. I ain't know him like that, so I can't say I felt a void or nothing, but my older sisters and brothers knew him. So, I mean sisters, they should know him, so I don't know. It was a thing. It was a whole family thing. It still is, so.
growing up, losing a brother, did that make you cherish other family members different, or was it just kind of hard at that point? Because not having like a male in the family, or just like, or you just, you know, do you feel like you had to step up, or how did you feel?
I mean, we did have males in the family though. It was like male role models or whatever. It just wasn't like officially like daddy in the house or nothing like that. But definitely, my nieces and nephews, we all close in age, so we was like bound together like sisters and brothers. And grandma taught us one fight, all fight, so we always been just a unit, you know, whether we was getting a chunk in or whatever was going on, we was always real close. But male role models, I don't even want to, can I drop names? I mean, Ronnie Walker's, like, you know, we had positive influences around us. It just wasn't like daddy in the house. Which that's make a big difference though too. As an adult, I feel that void, but when I was a kid, you kind of don't know what you don't know. You know what I'm saying? And we always had grandma who filled both of them roles, whether mommy was around or whatever. Grandma was head of the household, holding it down.
Why is it like that? Grandma's always like the glue.
Especially in black and brown families, for real. No, that's big in Puerto Rican families and all that. Like, you know, grandma is the matriarch, and that's important. Whatever is lacking, she makes sure it ain't, for real, you know?
Grandma's always been like that. I noticed that for some reason.
For real.
How was your grandma? Explain Leona to the world, if you can explain your grandma and what she did.
It's not even explain Leona to the world. Wow. She was just all around impactful, beautiful. She'd give anybody anything, feed anybody. Money, honey. She was hard about the money and like your goals and stuff like that. But more than anything, I never knew what embarrassment or nothing was until I was like older. Like I was almost grown, probably 18, dating or something.
Wow.
Because my grandmother allowed me to be who I was with no judgment, no nothing. I was allowed to be the weirdo that I am still. I wasn't never embarrassed or ashamed to be myself, because she instilled that, like, be you, be whatever. So I always was shining this light as a kid that I didn't understand about, but now I know kind of where that light come from. So
when you say weirdo, did you know from the jump? Because you always been doing stuff different and creative. So when do you think you was labeled a weirdo, or do you just feel like you always been kind of that way from the jump?
I think since I can remember, I was always called weird, like in school, church, all of that. Like grown-ups consider me to be a weirdo for real, but so I just use it to my advantage. I mean, not use it to my advantage. I just embodied it, and I appreciate it, because hell yeah, I'm weird. I don't want to be like y'all. You feel me? So it's like
that's right.
I took it, and it's empowering to me. I mean, what's normal? What's normal to the spider is chaos for the fly.
Right. I like that.
So it's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna stay in my own lane, and it's gonna work for me. Whatever worked for you, Godspeed.
I like that. So how you feel now seeing that the world embraced weird, but when you was doing it, they wasn't, you feel like they kind of didn't acknowledge it, or I don't know, because I feel like your environment kind of make it seem like, all right, we don't like weird, so now just be normal or something like that?
I mean, I got beat down and they tried to bully me, but they really couldn't, you know what I'm saying, in school. But I got talked about bad, you know what I'm saying, when I was in my weird stages. And then once it got cool, people started doing this. So I had resentment, like, oh, now y'all want to wear mohawks. Oh, now everybody a rock star. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, now it's cool to be a black gothic girl or whatever. Like, I'm like, I did have resentments, but now it's like, it's cool. And I'm still like years ahead of them. So now I'm on what's cool for me. And they'll catch up. You know, I just been a trendsetter, so it is what it is.
Explain how what was you like in school? You was like explain like your school and your whole experience throughout school.
I really started capitalizing that, embodying my weirdness in high school, because that's when people was like, you know, I'm real artistic. So I was like, and I was kind of popular weird too, because I was in sports and stuff like that. Like, and people saw like that shit ain't bothering me, and I could fight. So it was like that made a difference too. But yeah, that's when I started. Like, I was in sports, so the basketball players wanted me to paint their shoes or do their and then it was like a one-stop shop because Keisha, my older sister, braided hair, so she doing their hair, I'm making it my outfit. It was lit. Like, she doing all the Ross Iverson braids. Everybody in school know her for doing the braids.
I forgot about the
all
Iverson
the
braids.
Craziest designs. She was making up her own designs, so it was lit. She was doing all the popular people hair, I was doing all their clothes. We was just known for that, like, and I just became known like as an artist for real in my own right. So I was like, it's cool to be weird to me.
So growing up seeing y'all, right, y'all was the like cool, crazy kind of like, we cool but don't fuck with it. So like, give me a story that you remember, like the crazy, because everybody knew you could fight. What's a crazy story you can remember, or like damn, or like just a crazy day at school, or just like the most wildest fight from like that edge of a fight? Like, what was the craziest shit you can remember?
The craziest thing is the classic Edgewood 123rd fight.
Okay, but
that's the craziest thing ever. Classic. That shit went all the way from John F. Kennedy to 123rd to Jameson Park, back down to 123rd. So it was just crazy. A lot of people was involved. We ended up fighting our own cousins and everything. Niggas ran that you would never think was gonna run.
It was fun. See, I like back in the day because like you could kind of tell like who was a hoe, who was not, like who was on the front line. Like you knew who wasn't gonna fight.
Niggas was on the front line. I mean,
heart was different back then.
Heart was different because it ain't even matter if you couldn't fight. You was still gonna be on the front line.
Out there. That's
you still knew your niggas was gonna ride for you. So no matter what, one thing I will say is, a favorite pastime period is my nephew Red Boy. Me and him was like this, peanut butter and jelly. When I tell you, I fight back to back with this nigga, just us any day. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I got a gunner, not a runner. And we about to fuck shit up, period. We about to knock anything over.
They don't believe that like females are like just, y'all was really out there fighting with niggas.
I was just a cute ass tomboy. I have a whole Hello Kitty outfit on, ready to run somebody mama house. It was bad. I was a bad kid.
What made you like that? Was it just like where you was from or what you was seeing? Like, I knew you had to be seeing some wild shit. Like, that's not normal to like.
I told you what my first memory was, but yeah, from there I have seen a lot of stuff in my life, and we got strong women in our life. Like how you said, it's not really. So all my older sisters, my mother, everybody get busy. Everybody got names in the street, so it wasn't like we was lames or nothing like that. We already had a name from our family name, from the people that came before us. So it's kind of like we had something to live up to almost. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this such and such, her little sister or whatever. So I came behind such and such.
How many sisters you got? People who don't know.
I got 3 older sisters.
You've spoken on having strong women in your family. How did that affect you, and how do you feel like did it make you stronger? Did it make it, like, basically what I'm asking you, explain that you had strong women in the family. Tell me, how did it help? And then tell me how did it kind of, you know, was like a bad thing to you, if you kind of get what I'm saying.
I say like it helped and hindered me in that I became a product of my environment, and it wasn't always the best influence, you know what I'm saying? It was some thug shit, it was some crazy stuff, but it was definitely instilled spirituality and all kind of stuff was instilled in me as a kid. So I got a lot of different layers. I got street stuff, I got book smarts, I got spirituality. I was at church every Sunday. I was getting kicked out of Sunday school that week, but I was there, you know what I'm saying? And grandma even was, you know, I come to the sanctuary after getting kicked out of Sunday school because I asked questions that they just didn't have the answers to. I was always a curious kid. So they'd kick me out every Sunday. I go to the sanctuary and sit next to grandma. She already know why I'm sitting there. She'd give me a peppermint out of her purse, like, you will learn some stuff when you get older or whatever. And it was that, because she understood me. I don't know. It was good and bad.
So was you? I remember us going to Sunday schools or something. These two people used to always pick on me. They was our cousins though. You remember them? Back in the day when we was both.
Dwayne and
they from Chapel Side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. We used to go to Sunday churches. I remember that.
That blue bus that used to pick us up. Grandma made sure we got on that, even when she got sick, like, and she couldn't go with us. But when we was younger, when me and Keisha was younger, Grandma used to get dressed up and go to church with us, and that was like epic. It used to be me, Grandma, Janisha, all riding the bus though. Like,
did you have was you have young friends growing up, or was you just like to yourself?
I had friends like in the neighborhood, everybody on the street. We was all real close knit or whatever, but I fought a lot at school. I used to get in trouble at school because my mother wasn't always sober. And so somebody say, your mama a crackhead, them fighting words.
over with.
But you know what time it is. So I've been getting busy since a very young age. But and that's just at school because everybody in the neighborhood, like I said, respecting my family or whatever. Definitely respecting my grandmother enough not to say my mama a crackhead. So.
We all crack babies, man. You know, we got our pros and cons.
That's the era, definitely. I'm
crack was the shit back in the day. Crack was the shit back in the day. That's different now. Okay, so we talked about your school. You know, we was talking about school. Now you getting older, you seeing more stuff. You know, you ain't in the streets, but you not. You know what I'm saying? You seeing different type of men or different type of street niggas, or like, did you say that you had a type, or did you say like what was your choice, or what was you kind of seeing out there when you was just just tomboy chilling around some shit?
I had a type. Oh God, I'm gonna go back to product of my environment. So I was dealing with people that wasn't in my same lane or doing better than me at least. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, basically like D-boys and
niggas, straight guys. I got you.
Tennis shoe hustlers and corny shit.
Is it the edge though? You think it's the edge that makes people attracted to like the, you feel like you're more protected just because, or do you just, what is it?
I think as I got older, I kind of start seeking out what I would feel like I was missing in like a father and stuff like that. Like probably dating older men or men that I felt like had status enough to protect me in certain ways. Not that I needed protection, I'm a strong girl, but just like, I started seeking stuff like that and noticing like, I guess, daddy issue type of stuff when I got older or whatever. But like when I was dating younger, like I said, it was just what I had access to, who I'm kind of around, proximity type shit. Okay. Which is, I think, is for most people. Like if you work in a hospital, you probably date a nurse or, you know what I'm saying?
Real shit.